market. Okay, so earlier this month, we have seen an interesting report coming out from this famous analyst Fitch, which basically predicts that Dubai's real estate market is going to come down by 15% in either the
Either the
second half
second
of
half of
2025
2025
or
or
2026. Now
2026.
that
Now
we are
that we are
entering into
entering into
second half
second
of
half of
2025, I
2025, I
wanted to
wanted to
just
just
give
give
my
my
perspective.
perspective.
Also,
Also,
it
it
mentions
mentions
that the
that the
prices
prices
are
are
rapidly
rapidly
falling,
falling,
not
not
rapidly,
rapidly,
maybe
maybe
moderately
moderately
dropping
dropping
after
after
the
the
peak
peak
that we
that
have
we have
seen in
seen in
2024.
2024.
Population
Population
growth
growth
is
is
sustainably
sustainably
concerns.
concerns.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
basically
basically,
they're
they're
also
also
mentioning in
mentioning
the
in the
report
report
that
that
the
the
population
population
growth
growth
that is
that is
happening
happening
in
in
Dubai
Dubai
could be
could be
just
just
like,
like
you know,
uh,
something that
something
is
that is
just
just
temporary,
temporary,
maybe
maybe
not
not
sustainable.
sustainable.
But
But
in this
in this
video,
video,
what we are
what we are
trying to
trying to
understand is
understand is
that
that
did
did
Fitch
Fitch
actually
actually
take
take
Dubai's
Dubai's
economic
economic
model
model
and
and
conditions into consideration? Because what we need to understand is Dubai is not a very old market compared to other markets which are like Mumbai, New York, Hong Kong. Dubai is just like 20-25 year old market currently. So we need to be sure that not all the same formulas work for the city. So coming to what Dubai exactly is today, where we are standing, is that Dubai's population currently stands at 3.8 million people, and the target is to reach 7.8, that is almost 8 million people by 2040. That is a growth of 100% that the government is working towards. And we have seen an influx of about 170,000 residents coming into the city. And we need close to 250,000 people coming in every year to make sure that these targets are met. Now, a lot of people, what they really think is Dubai mainly survives only on energy and oil, which is not very true. In fact, Dubai's GDP coming from oil is not even 10%. It's in the single digit, what do you say, contribution to the overall GDP. The major contributions to this economy here is the tourism industry. As you know, Dubai has been pushing itself in the last 20 years as the destination for tourism, whether you come in with your families, whether you come in with your newly wedded spouse, or you are somebody who's just coming here to have fun with your friends. Dubai has made sure that everything is taken care of, and trust me, this is one of the safest cities where you can really enjoy your time until late nights, 3-4 o'clock, also with your families. Wherein, if you're planning to go to London or maybe Europe, it's not that safe anymore, right? Coming to the second part, Dubai's finance system. Dubai's financial system here, it works on a Sharia law system. So just so you know, they don't really believe in a lot of debt, which also implies in real estate directly, because when you see the number of transactions that actually happen here, majority of them, I'm talking 65%, 70% of them happen in what do you say, by the ways of cash. And rarely we see any clients who are actually looking for mortgages. I'm not saying that mortgage deals doesn't happen. 35%, that's a huge chunk, because we are seeing a lot of transactions here in Dubai. But still, major investment that happens into Dubai real estate market is via cash, and people are not really that much into mortgage here. So lending and exposing themselves to the money that they don't own is very limited. But yes, there are some people who try to put and buy a property in off plan and try to flip it, take extremely risky bets and risky leverages. But the leverage part here is very limited compared to what the other cities and other investors do in other cities. Now, coming to other parts, this is also one of the great reasons why Dubai is what Dubai is today. That's logistics. So if you have seen, Dubai actually is one of those cities which has taken advantage of its geopolitical and geographical location advantage, because Dubai, UAE in general, comes right in the center of east and west, with great connectivity to over 80% of the population within the 40 sorry within 4 hours of flying distance is great. And Dubai knows that. So not just that, Dubai is also located in a way that it has access to all this commercial shipping. It comes right in between the major commercial shipping routes. And Dubai has got one of the best ports, Jebel Ali ports, to support all the logistics that are happening logistically. Green energy, yes, this is something that Dubai is taking very seriously now. It is mandated to all the developers who are developing acres and acres of land parcel to make sure that at least 50% of the land parcels are kept open, that it's not too crowded anymore. So all the new locations that you see that are coming up by the developers, they're majorly greenery focused, unlike before. And the most recent, I mean, this is just this year, last year, what we are seeing is Dubai first has taken the advantage as soon as Web 3.0 is coming. So you see major cryptocurrency hubs, major what do you say, blockchain companies are all already set it up here in Dubai. They have the headquarters here in Dubai. Plus, now they're also expanding themselves towards what do you say, a lot of data science and AI learning models, and also they have recently tied up with one of the biggest AI chip manufacturer, Nvidia. So Nvidia is coming to Dubai with huge investments, and Dubai, of course, is giving a lot of big subsidies to make sure that these things are coming in. What this offers is that current situations globally, see, the technology capital today is USA. There's no debate on that. But when we are talking about accessibility to US, it has become extremely tough with the current scenarios that we are seeing, the employment rates that are rapidly dropping there. And it has not been the same USA what it was possibly 2 decades ago, where USA in Web 2.0 explosion, we have seen great companies coming out like Facebook. We have seen great companies like Google, which were one of the biggest employers there. But now, currently, their immigration systems are failing. Not failing, maybe, but they're not really ready to absorb all the people. And Dubai, as I told you, it is one of the great locations for all the aspirants who are really great in this technology sector. So, especially we are talking about South Asian parts, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. We are also very close to China, which is again one of the great manufacturing hubs. Also, this is very close to Africa, which where we are actually seeing a lot of emerging talent coming out from. So Dubai becomes very easy for these group of people to come in and then find a job. At the same time, when there is talent available, companies would have to come out and set up their offices here, because this is where they can. It's a middle ground for those where you're getting the lifestyle, where you're getting everything at a very good price, because government currently is supporting, and setting up a company here is very easy. There is almost zero taxation or the lowest taxation here to any of the countries. UAE's geopolitics are very strong, geo relations are very strong, so foreign relations are very strong, which indeed are reflecting in their what do you say, trade advantages that they have, and that they can provide to these businesses. Now, global city positioning, if we see it, Singapore has already saturated because it doesn't have a lot of land, let's say, to expand. But at the same time, I've recently heard from a friend of mine that just to get a license to buy a car in Singapore, leave about the price, leave about the taxes and everything. Just to buy a car, you need to have a permit, and to get a permit it takes almost 10 years right now. So that is this is just a small thing, nothing related to real estate, but it just showcases how the lifestyle is like. Where in Dubai you just come in and possibly do what you want. I mean, if for everything, as long as you are ready to go through a process, it's all open to you. So there's a lot of room to grow here. So you can just come. set it up, and it's not too late because the city is just 22 years old. So there's a lot of room for you to grow and make sure that you are possibly not even 30% there, if we are comparing ourselves to saturation points. London, yes, high taxes, and there's no political stability there. Always, I mean, like some other thing happens, and because of their old ties and old commitments, they are usually, we see a lot of protests. There's a lot of safety concerns that are already in London currently, wherein in Dubai, I've already mentioned, there's zero tax on your personal income. So whatever you make personally, you keep it all. And yeah, the governance, everybody knows. I mean, Dubai has outdone itself when it comes to its foreign policies and foreign relations with almost all the countries in the world. Compared to New York, yeah, New York, I mean, one of the oldest cities. Yes, it has been a great city even today. I mean, to be in USA, and especially to be residing inside New York, it is a big deal. I'm not saying no, but what is it that New York is offering? I mean, it was something else 2 decades ago, as I mentioned earlier, that you were having a lot of opportunities. So it was good to go there, take a chance, put your initial money as a capital, and then possibly get a good job, and then you'll eventually become big. But now, if you go back to New York, you will see that that city has outgrown itself. Like the population there, the kind of security concerns there, the kind of traffic concerns there, they're like stupidly high. Wherein in Dubai, we have everything that you see here is just done for the future, because advantage again, very young city, so they have planned everything as per what, after learning from what others have made in terms of mistakes, and they made sure that their infrastructure just stands out. I mean, the roads and everything. Usually, any highway from any part of the city that you're living in, you are always connected to a highway, and the highways speeds here are close to 100, so you can understand the kind of infrastructure it requires to make sure that the traffic flows at that speed. Geopolitical influence, yes, it doesn't have major tariffs. Fortune 500 companies have their MENA headquarters, like Middle Eastern and African headquarters, located in Dubai. There are more than 17, I might be wrong at this number, but I am sure that it's more than 10, and in between 10 and 20 economic zones, which are specifically to people who are into different sectors. This is kind of capital, we can say, center of all of this area, or all of this part of the world. This is an unofficial capital. We as in UAE always has a neutrality. It doesn't go by taking sides. It has always made sure that it was always on the side of the peace, whether right wrong doesn't matter. It was always on the side of the peace. And that also shows the kind of diversity that we have in this country. Over 148 nationalities live here happily. Yeah, and not just nationalities. When these kind of nationalities come here, they bring in their culture, they bring in their food, bring in their what do you say lifestyles, they bring in their designs, they bring in their clothing. So it's a mix. It's a very good, modern, at the same time diversified population and culture that we see here. And this is all obviously global urban planning leader. I mean, tell me any city which has done as much as Dubai has done, right? Whether it, I mean, you can take anything, safety, policing, and then you can take infrastructure, you can take the quality of properties, you can take standard of living, you can take anything that you want. You cannot compare Dubai to any other city at the moment. Yeah. Opportunities also. I mean, the way that the government is making its ties, I don't think so that we are seeing any downtown at the moment. UAE also I mean, like it has started seeing a lot of international influence, especially when there was recent little bit of recent, yeah, because it's still going on, instability in this region. So UAE is one of that go-to kind of a guy who is new because of its neutrality. People want to understand what is happening, how it can what do you say take an action, and when you have that kind of power, then obviously your influence works in your favor. Strategy East and West next nexus. Yes, so there has always been. I mean, like there's just like imaginary thing because Earth is end of the globe round, but yeah. So this is considered as a great connectivity from west to the east. So east, yeah, okay, for you east to the west. Why is that? Because usually a lot of companies that are working in, let's say, India, they're working on the projects of US. There are a lot of companies which are working in with a lot of manufacturing that happens in China, which is for US and Europe. These are like too far away kind of points. But when we get all of that, I mean, obviously we cannot get all the manufacturing of China, we cannot get all the projects of India to UAE. But even if we imagine, even if we get 1%, yeah, 1% of the top manufacturing units, 1% of the top service industry units to Dubai, it is like more than what they're actually planning to offer. So this is not a big country. This is a very small country where they are trying to just attract the top 5% or 10%, and they are trying to just give that kind of lifestyle, that kind of opportunity, which
which
only the
only the
top
top
5% and
5%.
10% can offer. So yeah, this is what it is. A regional business hub dominance, and even in this whole location, we have already discussed that. So one thing that is really good about Dubai is that it never shies away from showing what exactly the plans are. If you go and see the websites and do a little bit of research, where we'll eventually make videos about, Dubai has its plans till 2080. Can you imagine 2080? It has a roadmap. I mean, not every particular thing, but yes, it has a roadmap. A clear basic goal setting till 2033 and 2040. There is a huge funda around this, that what exactly they are going to do, why they want to do it. They basically want to make the city connected to each and every corner by 20 minutes, and they want to make sure that every single district that they are making is self sufficient by, let's say, if for example you have Silicon Oasis, which is coming up right now, that area. So it's not just about Silicon Oasis having residential properties there. So Silicon Oasis will also be hosting, as I mentioned, the AI data center. It'll also be hosting a lot of office spaces for these companies that will pop out, which are working basis on that technology. And then it'll also have its own police station. It'll also have its own school. It'll have a very good what is a public transportation. Everything should be there. Public parks, everything is part of that district. So it is trying to make this district, and district to district, it should not be more than 20 minutes of commute is what they are planning at the moment, which we are also seeing works happening. Private funding, yeah. So, and in real estate market, especially in Dubai, what we need to know is that 90% of the projects that you see which are coming live, they are not banks money, they are developers their own money. And you might say, like, what is the developers money? They'll just buy plot and then launch it. No, it's not like that. Basically, a developer, whenever they are launching a project, they need to put 100% of the plot price. That is, let's say if plot costs $100, they need to put all the $100, plus, if it's a grade developer, they need to put a minimum of 30% of the cost of the construction, whatever the cost of the whole development costs to develop that project. They have to put 30% of that amount into something called as an escrow. Once these two things are done, that's when they get RERA permit, when they can promote this project and start collecting money and start doing sales. So you need to understand that majority of the money that when a project is launching, the developer is in it, and to do all of this, there's zero support from the bank. And if it's a new developer without any past background or anything, this down payments, this security deposit can go as much as 70% of the project costs. So just imagine the kind of uh, things that the government is taking care of. And Dubai is also faced development. It's not like, just because people want it, they'll just sell the land and everybody will start going out. No, Dubai government RERA is very strong here. It basically checks everything works in a sync. Yeah, I mean immigration, population, your police, everything works in a sync. If they feel that the properties that are getting launched or properties are going to be oversupplied, they're gonna just stop giving RERA permits. Even if you put 100% of your property price down, they're not gonna give you RERA permits to sell off-plan projects. So they do a lot of these things to make sure that the supply demand metrics are also met, which indeed, I mean, I understand that this is a little bit of thing that the government should not intervene. If you have a land, it's your wish what you want to do, and it should be a just set platform. But what this does is that when government is intervening and making sure that the supply demand metrics are met, you as an investor, when you're coming into into this market, which is highly liquid. Yeah, liquidity, it's a big concept which I'll speak to you guys possibly in the coming videos. But in this highly liquid market, you will always have great demand. Without great demand, if you have liquidity, you'll lose money, right? I mean, to make sure that people are willing to buy in Dubai always. Trust me, I'm in this market for the last 10 years. 2018, 2017, 2019, leave all this 2020, when COVID was going on. I mean, everything was shut down in the world. The people were still willing to buy properties here. Of course, there's a price that they want. Currently, it's the sellers market, so seller can ask whatever price they want. Of course, there is a market price attached to it, but yeah, sellers can always demand a higher premium. When other time it was buyer's market, buyer will just ask you whatever price. If you want to sell, you can sell, but there's always a buyer for your property at whatever stage that you are willing to sell. That is what Dubai offers. And also Dubai is a very good private public kind of a what do you say combination kind of a governance that we see here. However, some of the best entities that you'll see here is DEWA. DEWA is nothing but Dubai Electricity and Water Authority. RTA, yes, Road Traffic Authorities, and Emirates is basically Emirates, your airlines. These are just three, but then there's Salik, which takes care of toll gates and everything. Everything is publicly traded, and all of the entities that you see here, nothing is on government funding. Everything are self profitable. Yeah, smart infrastructure investment. So Dubai keeps investing all its money. The government here invests majority of their spending goes into the future development and future infrastructure projects. System is still expanding. Drainage systems. I mean, if you guys have seen, everybody was like, "Hey, Dubai is just sunk. It has become a pile of ocean. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah." But then, right after that, that is, trust me, first thing what you need to know is that that flood was 75 years high, highest rainfall that Dubai and UAE as a region has seen from the time it has started recording. And still, if the same rain, same density of rain plus 50% comes into Dubai, Dubai is already ready. The drainage system is already ready. You'll see, I mean, like 6 months ago, you would see that the pipes and piping and everything was just getting laid down left, right, center, in especially in the places where we see a lot of water clogging. But now that has been taken care of. Community development, phase based, yeah. So we have already spoken about this. Financial discipline, yeah. So in Dubai, strict debit limits. So you cannot get yourself over leveraged also. So it doesn't allow you to keep taking multiple mortgages on a single property. So there's a limit that is 80% of the property's LTV is the maximum that you can have as a mortgage, as in from the mortgage. So that is the main reason that people do not actually come into that mindset. I have seen a lot of properties in US. Some of my investors tell me that They initially have invested just 100,000, bought a $1 million property, and now they've already pulled out more than $400,000 from it, and they keep doing that. So this, yes, it's a very good thing for this investor, but then eventually it weakens the economy, right? Where is the money coming out? End of that is all of that 400,000 that he has pulled out is from the bank's money or from the public's money or the government's money, right? So there are some strict limits that are there here. The banking is very strict when it comes to giving out loans. So just make sure that you are always aware of that. Public-private partnerships, yes. So we have spoken a little bit about this. Education, yeah, the healthcare is majorly private. So yeah, healthcare is something that is a little expensive in Dubai, but you will get top class healthcare here. And yeah, these are some basic numbers. If you are interested, I can possibly share this presentation with you. So this is a small chart that shows that how debt models Dubai versus Western actually work. So why is all this? Why are we talking especially about finance and debts and numbers today? Is because I feel Fitch has considered, how do I tell you? Possibly, if a country like India or possibly London would have grown 60% back to back every year for like 4 years, then definitely yes, it was concerning because, as I told you, a lot of money that would have been involved into that market would have been all banks' money or all leveraged money. But that is not the case in Dubai, as we have so investment source to invest your what do you say funding here is all self done. Even the risk distribution, of course, so because you do not have so much of loan available here in the market, so the risk is very limited and people have their own skin in the game. And when it's your skin in the game, you would usually not want to take the losses, and we would do everything possible to hold on to your property. Development approach, yeah, debt management, taxation structure. Even the taxation is very low, so that will also encourage a lot of people to keep the money to themselves because there's no property tax again. Unlike in other countries, just to hold the property, even though if it is going higher in the value or low in the value, even if it's stable, you still owe a lot of money to the government, but which is not the case here. You own the property and you would owe nobody unless and until that property is actually uh, giving somebody's giving you some kind of facilities, like if it's a building where you have services like concierge, so it's gym, swimming pool and all that, then you pay a very small amount, that is 0.5% of the property value. I'm giving you an average value as service fee, but nothing more than that. So long term vision, uh, if you I mean, this is just a summary of everything that we have just spoken. But yeah, market perspective, there's definitely some short term corrections come into this market, then it is a very good sign. To be honest, we have just been going higher and higher and higher and higher, and downside it has not been much. So even if it comes, that's okay. And one of the biggest thing that I tell my investors whenever they are investing in this market is that if you're coming into this market with a mindset that you're gonna just buy something, double your money in 2 years, and then go, no, then you should not do it. Yes, there is a possibility that that can happen, but you should always be prepared that if you're buying something for $100, you should have that capacity to pay that $100 in the timelines that you have committed to. So how does which concept I'm talking about is off plan investing with good payment plan, because you get interest free payment plans here which extend up to 4 5 years, some in some cases 7 years also. So people tend to get a little bit uh, leveraged and think that, hey, anyways the property has been going up, it will just keep going higher, so I'll just pay like 30 40% and then I'll make another 30 40% on top. That is like 100% ROI, so let me just get into it. That is not a good idea. I mean, if your pocket allows $1 million, go for $1 million. If your pocket allows $150,000, you can also get a property here in Dubai for $150,000. Go for that. There's no need of, if you have $1 million in your pocket, there's no point in going leveraging yourself to $2 million for the property with the mindset that you pay 1 million and then it'll keep go higher in value. No, there are a lot of laws which also protect developer, because developer is giving you this free payment plan to attract you to this country. It's only because they're also backed by the government, right? They also know how to get that money out. If in case you fail, then they also have their own procedures, and most of the times you lose if you do not pay your share. Then there's a huge penalties that you have to take care, which is not really good, because when you are calculating, a small percentage could multiply your returns. A small loss can multiply your losses also. So make sure that this is more like a property to property conversation, but yeah, I'm just giving you an overview if you guys understand. Then yeah, vision consistency. So whatever government has planned for 2040 remains unchanged. They have just announced it and then just working, grinding towards whatever their plan is. Population, they're at 3.8, 7.8 million is a target, and they're way well onto the path, is what I can see from where I'm living in this country. So what I see is what I'm telling you. Investment advantage, structural. So yeah, this is a very key point. All of the things that we have just spoken, this is the major point that I want to keep. Dubai is not your traditional investment that you do in traditional markets. Here, even your residential properties give you higher returns. Here, the liquidity is really high. I mean, even a $10 million property can be sold within 2 months of time, and without any discount. If you give a discount on $10 million property, possibly there's a possibility that you can close that deal within 1 week. That's how liquid this market is. And yeah, so that is just a little bit of what I feel on uh, Fitch. So I definitely think that this is not something that they have well thought of. Maybe they just thought to put the numbers, and but the were from principles were from the other traditional markets. There's so many point of references, which is very normal for an investor, because you have been investing. Maybe you are a veteran in real estate investors, but trust me, guys, whenever you come to Dubai, come with an open mind. Try to understand. I'm not saying just blindly believe what anybody says, including me, but whenever you are coming to this market, always make sure that you have an open, how do I say, you have an open mind towards understanding this market, because this is not a very uh, regular market dynamics. For example, I mean, this is anyways an AI generated picture that you see on the screen. What you see inside Burj Khalifa, which is like world's tallest and everything, anywhere in the world, this would have been the highest priced property in that whole area, correct? But no, here properties which are brand new, serviced by, let's say, address or some hospitality brand, and has a direct view of Burj Khalifa and fountain, they are more they're valued more than what you can find in Burj Khalifa. I'm talking residential. Yes, office. It's all about location, right? Office. Where is your office? Blah, blah, Burj Khalifa, possibly enough to number. So offices, no comparison. But I'm talking purely about uh, residential. If it's residential, it's a view. But in the view, again, there are so many different things. You might possibly, in some of the cases, you will need a bigger balcony. In some of the cases, you'll need a smaller balcony. In some of the cases, you do not need a balcony. So, there's so many dynamics that work in this market. Here, as it is only 25-year-old market, you will not see any building, okay, any high rise recently, I mean, like good infrastructurally made buildings which are more than 15 years old. And we consider here in this market, any building which is 10 years and above, we consider it as old. Trust me, 10 years is nothing in real estate, right? But 10 years, it's old, because in the last 1 decade we have seen a lot of advancement also in real estate industry, technology wise, amenities wise. A lot of before, it was like swimming pool is must, but now swimming pool with infinity views is important, right? Gym was good 10 years back, but now gym, sauna, steam, jacuzzi, these are basics of market requirement. And I'm not even going to a lot of other what do you say, amenities, like possibly a nice club room, nice play area, nice all that. I'm not even considering. I'm giving you basics. There's a huge shift in basics only. Plus now people want their buildings to have sustainability. It's not like it's a G plus 20 buildings and two lifts. No, they need to have 8 lifts. That is the privilege. At the same time, it should be sustainable. There should be enough sunlight. There should be enough airflow. There should be enough safety requirements. There's so many things that things have changed in last 10 years, and that change we can see here in Dubai because in cities like New York, center of the city is like where actually we see a lot of what do you call prime location properties. There, those buildings are very old, so it's only location that is appreciating. But here in Dubai, location plus your building, the way it is built, your layout, the way it is done, everything matters. Every unit is different to another. The second unit possibly in the same building as well. That's why there's some series which work really well in some of the buildings. Some series doesn't work well. There's so many dynamics which will eventually I will try to explain via this video. So this is my attempt. I hope you guys liked it. This is my first video that I'm going to post on YouTube. So if you like this and if you want to see me often with such similar concepts, then please hit like, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, see you in the next video then. Thank you.